Hi all, welcome to Learn Trust YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to see what is Azure. So let's start. So what is Azure? So Azure is one of the largest public cloud computing provider for services such as virtual machines, containers, serverless computing, and machine learning. So these are not the few technologies. There are so many. There are 200 plus products and services which Azure cloud computing is providing nowadays. So what Azure is doing nowadays? So Azure is just solving today's challenges and creating the future technologies which are in demand, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, etc. And Azure has multi-cloud facility, which means that suppose an organization or enterprise business startup is there, and currently they are working with on-premises infrastructure. So now to reduce the operation capital expenditure, they wanted to shift all their infrastructure to the cloud. So this will help the organization to reduce the capital expenditure and only focus on operational expenditure. So this we will discuss later on brief how they are getting such a benefits from Azure cloud computing. So as I mentioned, there are 200 plus cloud services. So which are Azure Cognitive Services, Azure Web App, which is used to deploy the website or app. Just bring the developer, just bring the code and just deploy here. About the infrastructure and what's the criteria or the required to deploy. Just bring the code and deploy here. Network security groups, Azure SQL Server database. There are so many, and Docker, containers, serverless computing, etc. So nowadays, Azure is now also has DevOps, which the developers and operation team are using for faster delivery of the products. So from Azure DevOps to business analytics, data analytics, and to IoT, Azure is solving all the real world business requirements within a single platform. So that's the benefits of Azure. Now coming to the next topic. So why Microsoft Azure? There are so many cloud service providers, which is AWS, GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform, Oracle. We have also Oracle, Alibaba, etc. There are so many, but in major we have AWS, GCP, and Azure. So why we choose Azure? There are so many benefits. Let me brief you in 2 points. Azure has best UI. As from the portal, which is azure.portal.com, user can manage all the activities of the resources like virtual machines, SQL servers, Docker, container, web apps, etc. from one portal, which is portal.azure.com. So it is easy to handle, easy to monitor, etc. Coming to the next point, which is cheaper than AWS. Azure is 5 times more cheaper and more powerful. So that's the reason why most 500 Fortune companies are shifting to Azure for this reason, and cheaper. And the next one is the most powerful and the simplicity. Third one is the free security and more savings. By saying the free security doesn't mean that enterprise security level will be free. Just for the personal applications or for labs, hands-on one who is new to Azure, just want to take the look of how the free security or the security of the Azure provides. So that's more here saying the more savings. It means that suppose you have a licenses which are running on on-premises infrastructure or PC or desktop or etc. We have in the on-premises infrastructure. So if we bring the same license in the Azure cloud computing, that suppose there is on-premises you have running 10 desktops. So 10 desktop will having the 10 those licenses. And now what we have done, that we have migrated this 10 Windows desktop in the Azure virtual machines. So if you have already having 10 Windows licenses, and if you bring 10 Windows licenses in Microsoft Azure while deploying your virtual machines, then it helps you a lot to save. So that's the one point, that why Azure is such a provides flexibility to switch from on-premises to cloud. And the fourth one is high market capture. More than 95% of the Fortune 500 companies are using Azure or already started or they are planning to move to Azure cloud computing. So if I have to name the some of the few companies that are Walmart, Airbus, Daimler, etc. Now coming to the next portion of the lecture. So what are the few Azure services? Here I will describe few, that means only having the 4 important benefits, but there are 200 plus which are not possible to cover in our single video. So we will see later on after in the upcoming videos. So first is the virtual machines. What are the virtual machines? So just suppose in your organization there are 100 computers. So the 100 computers which are in the on-premises. So if the same company is moving to the Azure cloud, so in the Azure cloud, in the cloud also needs the 10 desktop. So a virtual machine is not a desktop which are in the on-premises infrastructure. Suppose infrastructure is having 10 desktops. So in the cloud, if you need 10 more, then 10 more can be added in a few seconds in the cloud. So this helps in reduces capital expenditure and more focuses on operational expenditure. So that's all about virtual machines. Coming to the next web app. Web app is just a platform to deploy your code and run the websites. It's as simple as is it. Developer just brings the code and deploy in this web app platform and forget about the infrastructure. So that's about web app. Now coming to the cognitive services. What are the cognitive services? Cognitive services here is AI, machine learning. This is all about cognitive services. So in the cognitive services helps you to build cognitive intelligence into your applications. Now coming to the availability zones. What are the availability zones? Suppose there is on-premise infrastructure where the disaster happens and your current infrastructure which are on premises is down for some time being due to the disaster happens. So all of the users across your globe will face this issue because the server is down, your database server, your on-premises data center is down. To overcome this issue, Microsoft come with the features availability zones. So suppose in one region, in one country, if your data center or if your any system is down, then all the load will be fall into the another shared region. That will be, suppose in India, due to some disaster, this data center is down. So this should not impact your business. So Microsoft will transfer all the workload to the nearby country or nearby region like USA. All the workload will be transferred to this region. We will discuss all about in detail in the upcoming videos. So I am just giving the overview. Now coming to the next portion. What are the advantages of using Azure? So Microsoft trust. Everyone will get the trust of the Microsoft. So from government to the startups and trusted by the many enterprises like Boeing, Daimler. Just name the Fortune 500 companies all are using Microsoft. Now coming to the next advantages. Build your terms, which means that developer can build his or her own terms. So developer just bring the code that he or she develop in packages or in their environments. We need to just deploy the code in the Azure web app and forget about all the infrastructure, and it doesn't need to take care about all the what to deploy, where to deploy, what the configuration. Need to just bring the code and deploy in the web app. That's it. So that's the flexibility as you're having and providing to the developers. Now coming to the next feature. So next feature is be future ready. So all we know that tomorrow's future is AI, machine learning, IoT, DevOps. So Azure is already geared up for these technologies. So already Azure is providing such technologies affordable and price and minimum price, and all the big Fortune 500 companies are already taking the benefits of this future ready development for better tomorrow. Now coming to the next, operate hybrid seamlessly. This means that suppose an organization is already having on-premises infrastructure, and if the organization wants to move to the cloud to minimum the capital expenditure, so the organization can take the benefits of both on-premises also plus cloud also. So as we can see that suppose one organization can also take the benefit of on-premise infrastructure, can also take the benefit of multi-cloud infrastructure, can also take the benefit of edge. So that's the flexibility Azure provides to an organization. Now coming to the next, Azure accelerate your migration from modernization with Azure. So organization can easily migrate their on-premises infrastructure to the cloud infrastructure without any downtime. So that's the one of the most major benefits of Azure. Now coming to the next point. So how to start with the Azure journey? It is very easy. So first of all, you must beginner's path, and first you need to Azure fundamentals. So Azure fundamental is a very basic level. Azure fundamental is a certification which is AZ9, which is called AZ900 certification, which is provided by the Microsoft at absolutely free. Just you need to attend a 2 days training from Microsoft, and you are eligible for free voucher to attend this AZ900 training. The Azure fundamentals, I'm going to cover all the topics of Azure fundamentals in detail. So stay tuned for that. To next, after you're getting AZ900 certified, you can move for Azure developer, Azure networking administrator, Azure DevOps engineer, etc. So after getting AZ900 certified, you will get a certificate like this, which is a 1-star certificate. And after that, you have to do some certification if you are interested in a 2-star certification, and after that continuing, so you will become an Azure expert. So coming to the next, which is how our Azure portal looks like. So our Azure portal looks like very simple, which is here you can see that this portal is called with the portals.azure.com. Here is your email ID which you have logged in with your account. Here is a cloud cell which is used to deploy, manage resources. This is used to create a resource. This is the Active Directory which is used to manage users, applications, and your tenants. This is the app service which is called Azure Web App, which used to deploy your web. Here just bring the code and deploy it over here, and forget about the infrastructure, about the availability. Azure will take care of that. This is a resource group, and resource group basically a container, virtual machines, virtual networks, automation, recovery support, backup center. All these technologies I'm going to discuss one by one in detail. So stay tuned for that, and don't get confused over right now. This is very easy concepts. I will describe in very easy, simple terms. So stay tuned for that. And the one major point for using portal.azure.com, you must have a one subscriptions. And for getting a subscription, you must take a one credit card to get a subscription for 12 months. If you doesn't have any credit cards, then stay tuned for that. I will show you a one trick to get your subscription for free. And remember that it's a temporary, not for permanent. But if you get subscriptions with Azure credit card, then it's a permanent for you. So coming to the next, which is the last of the topic, which is just, if you hope you like the topic and learn something new, and if you have any doubts, or just comment in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So that's all for today video. Stay tuned for next upcoming videos. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.